All right, without further ado, Geoff Waring.
G'day everybody. My act tonight is about differences. Probably noticed something different already about me. One of the few acts originally from Atlanta. I teach at Emory University. Job I had before that, I worked in an orange juice factory, but they canned me. Said I couldn't concentrate. And when I complained, they beat the pulp out of me. Before that, I used to be a window washer. Trouble was, I kept stepping back to admire my work. Anyway, before I lived in Atlanta, I used to live in Los Angeles. Now, that's a city of differences. Do you know in Los Angeles that everybody is a minority? That's very striking. But this has great benefits. Do you know the Mexican restaurants there are so authentic that you can't drink the water? And there are other benefits too. I was a doctoral student there at UCLA. I had a French, an Austrian, and an Italian roommate. And the Frenchman had trouble with language a lot. You know, he could never pronounce the letter H very well. So the 3 words he had problems with: household, hassle, and arsehole. We had a very happy household. And he used to drink all this wine. Olivier drank so much wine, the Frenchman. I said, Olivier, don't you know alcohol is a poison that will slowly kill you? He said, yeah, so what? I'm in no hurry. But what really struck me was also the differences in income there. You know, the rich people in Beverly Hills and the poor people down at Venice Row. But what they could do, even though this difference in income, these poor people could still keep their self-esteem. Like, for example, this bum came up to me and said, how about $1? I said, what about $0.25? That'll work better for me. He said, listen, I may be a bum, but don't tell me how to do my business. But, you know, there's not that much bigger difference between us and these poor people because, being an Australian, I don't really dress that well. And I would be down there with these bums and people would put coins in my coffee cup. Okay, last December I got married. You know, thank you. It's amazing how a bit of exercise can change a man's life, especially when it's a walk down the aisle. Talk about differences. My wife is so different to me. I mean, she's so immature, for example. I can't believe it. She keeps coming into the bathroom when I'm in there and sinking all my little rubber boats. I hate that. And she just has this real need for control. You know, I realise that my wife is the only person that can win both sides of an argument. She said when we get married, it'll be a 50-50 relationship. I'll tell it like it is, and she tells it like it's going to be. Another difference between us is religion. You see, Carrie thinks I'm not as religious as her, which is true. But she said, Geoff, you have no faith in God. I said, Carrie, I have faith in God. You've seen me driving. Another thing is she's a Lutheran and I'm a Catholic, right? And she says, Geoff, I respect your Catholic beliefs, but the rhythm method doesn't work very well. I said, Carrie, my parents have 6 wonderful children, and every one of them is musically inclined. Another difference between us is this cultural thing. Like in Australia, people go for the bikini briefs, that kind of thing, whereas in the US, the boxers are cool. And Carrie says to me, Geoff, science has told us that tight bikini briefs can make you sterile. I said, Carrie, in Australia, when I was growing up, if you were even suspected of wearing boxers, they would drag you up to the ovals behind the school, pants you, and rub toothpaste into your private parts. I said, Carrie, that can make you sterile. Another difference I really hit is one between animals and humans. Like, for example, we have this cat, and these cats have just a weird way of showing affection. Like, I wake up in the morning, and this cat bites my nose to wake me up. And the thing is, his bottom fangs, I'm sure he was brought up on a Three Stooges set, because they get up inside my nose, as I wake up, and it's like, woo, 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 woo. Wow, wise guy, eh? There's weird ways they show affection, but I show a lot of affection to cats. I think for example, my wife was very upset the other day, and the cat went missing. So I went to work and I put up this sign on at work for $100 for a return for the cat, and one of my office mates said, Geoff, $100 for the return of the cat? That's a lot of money, isn't it, for a cat? I said, well, not for the return of this cat, because it's not coming back. But, I shouldn't be mean to cats, because I really get upset when they get hurt. For example, I have to say this, I was driving to work the other day and I actually ran over a cat, which is really sad, I know, I was very upset. So I went up to the person whose place I thought it came from, and I knocked on the door. And it was this little old lady, and I said, look, I'm terribly sorry, I think I ran over your cat. And she said, well, I have quite a few cats here. She had this pile of cats. I said, what did it look like? Well, I said, it sort of looked like this. And she said, no, before you hit it. I said, oh, before I hit it, it was more like... Just in closing, I'd like to say that, these differences between the income and the races and animals and people, what I find really like about the US is you're very tolerant of these different races. And I think you should be proud of that, because I've been welcomed with open arms by the Americans, and I really like that. It's great. And but one thing I think you could do better is really not just tolerate people that are different, but also actually cherish those differences. Because in marrying my wife, I like to think that I married her because she really was different, that she was very different to the other women. And the difference was that she would actually go out with me. Anyway, that's it. Thank you.